Hello guys. I think that I was streaming without actually being online. So nice to meet you, and sorry that I wasn't here around for almost 1 month. And also sorry that I'm a little bit late, because right now I just pressed my finger into a door by running here, and I have to take this ice and hold it on my fingertip. Also, these were pretty. I have an echo. Okay, let me just check it. 1, 2. Let me just check if I can understand if there is an echo or an echo. Oh, so I have to. Sorry, guys. Okay. I had to take another echoes. 1, 2. Can you hear us? Okay, probably there is some echo. 1, 2, 3. I think that I'm
1, 2. Okay, probably 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. I think that you should hear me. Okay now. Can you hear me? Just give me some fingers. Okay, I think that it works. So yeah, as I said, I had a few accidents also this week. I fell down on my head just the other day, so I'm a little bit like. You can see it here. So yeah. So let me just check here a few things, because for this accident I didn't have enough time to check everything, if everything is working. I think so, guys. If you notice anything, please give me some message. Okay, and as you probably know, I have released Deckard ChromaKey Indie and the Deckard ChromaKey Enterprise. There aren't any substantial differences other than a price of this asset. So Indie is dedicated to everyone that earns less than $100,000 per year, and Enterprise is more targeted for broadcast, for studios and broadcast companies. It's just a difference in license. So I'm trying to make it available for fair price for everyone. Okay, let me start speaking a little bit about ChromaKey and actually about how Deckard does everything. But to understand how Deckard does everything, I think that it's really important to understand also how to do a good ChromaKey. And there aren't actually really good tutorials on how to do ChromaKeying, mostly. So I will try to cover this part of also on the preparation. I won't be going too much into a studio setup, but I will be going into what actually you might need and what camera to use and how to expose correctly for some type of chroma keying. To expose perfectly, how to say. Let me just check messages if we have something. Thank you for everybody that writes, and I will be reading. And then I also wanted to share some of my, to give for free some of my assets. So please remind me from time to time to share some numbers from some asset store vouchers here. When I will post them on the chat, you will be able to first one that inserted it on an asset store will get it. Okay, so let's start from. This is currently my setup, and I will probably want to go there to show you a little bit what is actually going on there. But to be able to do it correctly, I think that I have to turn up a little bit of my voice. Please let me know if you can hear something. Okay, but I think it should work. So I'm here in the front of my camera that is actually on a tripod. You can see it here. I have here a whole setup. It's a really basic green screen setup. Nothing too expensive, nothing too complicated. I have few of the lights. You can see there some LED. They are all Godox SL60V. They are really enough for my setup, for my size. And then I have here my camera. My camera is a Blackmagic Pocket 4K, and this is extremely versatile camera. It's extremely good, especially for a price, because it has a incredible great dynamic range. And you will see that I'm mounting this camera not horizontally like normally, but I'm mounting it vertically, because in this way I can have much more coverage of my of a whole body. So this is the main reason why I'm using it. Yesterday I had some questions from some persons like, what lenses do you have to use? Do you need expensive lenses? Mostly not, because expensive lenses mostly have some character. As a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera is a micro four thirds sensor. It's a pretty small sensor. It's not like, but it's near to a film sensor. Most of the lenses, even cheap ones, can work really well for chroma keying. What is important for a lens is that it doesn't have too much of vignetting, and that it is pretty sharp lens. Most of the modern lenses are like that. So, for example, on this camera, I'm mounting Olympus lens that costs around $150, so it's nothing too expensive. Because practically when you're doing ChromaKey, you will always want to close your aperture. So here I'm using, I'm always using around 8f aperture, because I found that it is a sweet spot for a lens, and that it's a sweet spot for having a nice and sharp image. So how do we start with, once we have Deckard Chroma here, how do we start with Deckard? How do we start to make something? So Deckard Chroma Key will install this Deckard Chroma Key folder in the assets, and then we have here resources. It's Deckard Chroma Key, we have to find here. Sorry, guys, I'm having prefabs. In prefabs, we have two setups. One is for HDRP10. It should work for HDRP10, and it should work also for URP. And then we have for a standard pipeline, that is Deckard Key plain standard. I will be using here Deckard Key plain standard, because right now I'm using standard. And the first thing that it does is it will set up it by itself like a prefab for using a render texture. In our case, I want to use a webcam, and in my case, I want to use my let me just check if everything works here. I don't think that it works, actually. So, because I'm using Blackmagic cinema camera that goes into a Blackmagic intensity card. I'm suggesting this card because it has a great dynamic range. It is able to capture 10-bit input, and bit depth for chroma keying is one of the most important things, because you want to preserve all the dynamic range that a camera is able to do. So let me just check why it doesn't work. I think that it doesn't. So open webcam. I'm just checking this. Okay. And when you have to choose, because maybe you have more cameras in your system, you want to know what camera you should use. So I will be just using this feature, open webcam, and I have to first I have to activate here on console also those messages. And here I can see that I have on the first one Blackmagic VDM Capture and Blackmagic VDM Capture 2, because I have two different capture cards. So in this case, and I'm doing this like a tutorial because many of you, or many of professionals use, you will probably use Decklink Blackmagic capture cards. They are the best for this thing. So let me just check if, but you can, okay. It was the first device. As I have two of those devices, I had to choose the first one. So you will see here right now that it shows my screen here. So this is a input that I'm getting from my camera. If I switch here, you will see that it corresponds to this. Then I will come back here. You will see that I have here option of let me check this, of showing histogram. Why do I need this histogram? I need this histogram to be able to expose my image in the best way possible. So what I actually want to have is to have my background and this green line around 60 to 70% of this scale here. Right now it's around 40. So I will have to go back to my camera and adjust ISO settings. So I'll be just bringing up ISO until before starting this, I will have just to go into a play mode just to be able to see it better. And you can see that right now that graph is changing there. So around here it should be okay. But I also have to change my balance more or less. White balance, it should be, right now I'm changing it on 5000 because I know that my lights are targeted at 5000. So this lightness should be correct. And then I have to go here and create a new profile. So profiles are practically materials. So let me just rename this profile something like webcast test. Okay. So you will see that it behaves more or less how a standard how you are treating, for example, post-processing effects in Unity. So you have this, I have just this material, and it will be to every object onto what I apply this material, it will just use those settings. So you can see right now here that I have this thing, and I can choose what type of ChromaKey. Here I can choose what type of a ChromaKey I want to use. In this case, because we have two types of ChromaKey, I will show you the first one, that is when you have a static camera, it's the best way to use this garbage key. So garbage key, what it does, it captures practically a garbage mate. If I click here, you will see that I have here this garbage mate. This garbage mate is a simple image, and if I open it in Photoshop, you will see it just captured my background from here. And I can use that image as a source for keying. This means that I don't have to guess my colors and things like that, but it will automatically key everything out or based on that color. And so this is the first step. But otherwise we can use, let's just use normal color key. So I can go here into a webcast test without using garbage mate, and I have to set up here a color that I want to key. As I already did this sample of my background color, like here, okay. As I already did it, I can just pick it right from here. And another trick that I usually want to do is, because I have to maybe use multiple inspectors, I will just add here another inspector and just move it right on here. So in this case, I can just go into this Deckard ChromaKey and lock it down by locking this thing, and here I can go into my settings. In this way, I can watch here my histogram, and one of the most important things for start is to set up this pre-correct gamma. Sometimes you won't have too much possibility on doing some pre-gamma, like doing some procedures before capturing. For example, if you're using a video file that is already done in some studio, you will want to move this pre-gamma until you meet best difference between all those curves here. For example, this one should be or bring it a little bit up. Okay, so something like that. And from here on, I can try start to work on my ChromaKey. Also, because I had in my camera, I have set to a portrait mode, I will have to select here a portrait mode. In this way, ChromaKey will be always oriented in this manner, as it is here. You can see it right now. Let me just check for a moment a little bit this chat. Okay. Favorite part of my test this morning, the shadows look amazing. Wonderful to see me cast live shadows onto 3D environment. Great work. Thank you. I will show you also how this works. Great. Yeah. I was going to ask if the shadows can work when the light is parallel to a plane, as I haven't tried the latest version. It actually could, but yeah, there are some tricks to do. But I think that I will be implementing some new features onto this onto shadow casting, because I really want to give some more ability to do those things. Sorry guys, I have just to okay. And so right now we have this plane, but we need some subject to put it into this screen. So you can see it right now here. I think that my screen isn't actually in the focus, but never mind. Let's go and take my subject that you see here. So okay. Oh my gosh, she lost hair. Okay. So this is our subject. Let's check it right now. I'll have to zoom a little bit out. Okay. And then to do some focus. And I have to move it a little bit in front here. Okay, something like that. I think that this should work. Then I will be turning on another light here. Okay, so this should be pretty correct setup. And from now on we can start doing some keying. So when you go into this thing, first thing that I want to do is to move this, maybe to narrow it as hard as I can, and then just move it until I find that it keys out mostly everything. Okay, something like that. But I should probably also sorry guys, I'm just showing you. Okay, so the first thing is practically to narrow this range, and to just bring it until you have something that covers most of the figure. So this is something like that. So this isn't perfect, but yeah, we are somewhere there. Okay. And then afterwards, I'll be trying to play a little bit with my mask power. No, maybe. Yeah, this is everything. Like also here, I might just change these colors and go from side to side, just to check if everything. First of the hue, something like that, and then just bring it. Okay, yeah, and also, so this is a good starting point, I would say. Then I will just be zooming into a little bit into it, and then we have this, Despill. Despill practically. Our original image was having some. Let me just check here. Green cast. You see, with this I can remove a little bit of green cast, and with this I can actually tune all those parameters. So every of those parameters, it is really difficult to show you what everything does. You will have to learn from working on it what every single parameter does. But their parameters are mostly set up in order of importance. So you just have to follow like this. First, threshold. So here we have threshold, and this setting up this correctly will help you a lot. Then you go into checking up a little bit of this mask power. Then you are going into probably into this this alpha cutoff. So this alpha cutoff, it will practically define where shadows are cast. I will show you like this. If I create here a plane underneath, you will see that right now she casts a shadow. If I go into this alpha cutoff, you will see that right now she becomes more transparent. So she doesn't cast any lighting. Then we have this Despill Chroma and Despill Luma. Those values should be used based on your content, because if you have, for example, Despill Luma, if you have a white background, then Despill Luma should go into a positive values. If you have black, then into negative values, if I'm not wrong. So, but you have to use it to match your background. So in this case, it should be pretty correct like this, and then okay. Yeah, so this should be okay. And then let's go. Just check up a little bit this color cleanup. I don't like it too much. Okay, something like this. Then here, from here on, we can do some effects that is like border defocus. So border defocus, why it should be used? Because otherwise you will have this stepping issue, and you want to simulate some kind of a blur of these edges. Then we have this cleanup mask. A cleanup mask is a really powerful tool, mostly when you have noisy backgrounds, when you have cameras that doesn't work pretty well, and or you have some trackers or any smaller detail, it will just try to remove. So it is controlled by these two values. It's a color cleanup mask and cleanup range. So cleanup range just says how much you have to clean up and how this filter behaves. Then we have color correction. So this will change our appearance of our subject. You know, it has like standard gamma here, and it has some like tint and white balance, so I can do some white balance on this. So if my colors also have too much green cast, then I can use those values. They are pretty, I would say, basic properties, but they are really pretty much powerful into changing how this should look. Then we have, so you can see, I will keep gamma at 1. Okay, transition Falloff. Okay, this is one of the really interesting features. You will see right now that as I change this, practically as I change this transition position, I go to 0.5, for example. This divides this image into two separate keying presets. So if I go right now into this threshold low, I can set up it completely different in respect to my previous threshold. This sometimes can be used to eliminate, for example, here, as we have a little bit of shadows, to eliminate shadows, or to create, to leave shadows even on. So if I want to leave some shadows from a real world, but probably in Unity you don't want to use it in that way, you can just treat differently upper and lower part of a body. So you will see right now transition position. Let me just move it right on like this, something like that. Okay, no, let me move it like this. I don't know. Right now it's a pretty similar setup. Yeah, let's move it to something hard. So I can just define where one part of a transition starts and where starts another, and then I can just fade between those two. In this way, if I fade like now, you will see that it will preserve some kind of a background that was like of the shadows that were there originally, but maybe I just want to eliminate any shadows, so I will be just going here much harder. This is also done because mostly you will have different needs for upper part of a body, for hair, where you want more subtle transitions, and then for lower part of a body you don't want any transitions. You want to eliminate all the shadows. Let me just check my camera because I think that it's not in focus still. Okay, yeah, it wasn't in focus. I will have just to put it in. Okay. So in this case, right now she should be much more in the focus. And then we have some other pretty nice features. And here where the fun always starts. So for example, right now we have only one directional light. Our keying is not still pretty perfect, but never mind. I'm just trying to show what are the... yeah, I also have some elements there on the floor, so those are impossible to key out. Look here. So this is directional light. You will see right now that if I change my light, for example, brightness, it doesn't change too much onto this material. But if I go right now into a setup of a chroma keying, I have material settings here. So this is because right now my material is set to be to have some emissive color. I would like to drop it completely down right now. Okay, let me just check. Okay, it should be down. And then I want to show you how this light works on the base of a scene. So you will see. Let me just bring also. Okay, this should be like that, and let me just check a little bit this direction. Okay, no, even better. We won't be using a directional light. Normal. Sorry. I will be just changing, turning off directional light, adding here light, point light, and we'll show you how right now this object can be illuminated directly in Unity. Okay, so this is my light. Let me just crank it up a little bit more. Okay, intensity, something like that. Okay. Change the color. No, let me see, something like that. Yeah, and set here soft shadows. Okay, something like that. Okay, so you can see right now that as I move my light, my object gets illuminated differently. Practically because we have a possibility to generate normal maps, and you can see it here. Here is this normal map that gets generated. And if I go here into a normal, normal scale, I can change it. Mostly what is the default value is the best value, so I don't think that there should be too much, it should be changed too much, and I think that it works. And also we have this possibility like to use different iterations, so I'm using 8 iterations is the default, and I think that it also works best for this type of a content, for a full figure. Maybe if you have some smaller persons, you can drop down those iterations. And then I have this color influence. This means it defines how much color information from a camera influences this normal map. It is also set to something that is pretty great value. And then we have this metallic value, and smoothness value. This can be used just for some kind of cool effects. It's like, it's nothing. The smoothness should be mostly for normal stages set to 0. Okay, let's duplicate this and just change the color, and let's say to put some blue color here. Some blue color. Okay, and you can see right now that my object that is there gets illuminated. So as I move those lights, it is capable of doing some kind of relighting. I think that it works pretty well for many things. So you can also define how much do you want this light to influence. In that way, I will go into profile material, and then just say, okay, emissive color should be brighter or lower. So if emissive is brighter, then those lighting effects are pretty subtle. Okay. Let me just rotate a little bit of this. Yeah. Here you can see right now that I have this white background casting around my head. So in this case, if I have something that is dark, then I want to go the things that I said also before, Despil Luma, I will want to bring it down. And also, okay, I want to Despil also Chroma, so you can see right now that I don't have any green castings. But you will notice here that I have some kind of problematic, because I've changed a little bit of a keying settings. Never mind. Let me just check it and do some small. Okay, and this is our plane. Let me just check it. Why? Okay. So. Then, what other features do we have here that are really interesting? Okay, one of the features that you are saying, later we will be coming back onto this noise that we have there in the background, that is some kind of a shadow. You will see right now that this person, okay, let's just delete those lights because for a moment we don't need them, and let's rotate this light here. Okay, this should be okay. So you will see that as I move my object, and here in this case it will always place itself onto a 0 point of this plane. So if I, for example, go there and I move my object, it will always try to come back. This is done by a tracking, and we have here this image tracking. If I turn it off, then nothing will happen. If I turn it on, then it will track this image, and I can just set up here few values that right now doesn't have too much influence because we have here some errors on a keying. So let's just check out those errors. Yes, like that. Okay, so this should be a pretty good thing. So yeah, then later on we will be just trying to fix those lower parts because they aren't so good. But they can also be fixed with a little bit of working on masking power. So you can see right now that if I set this mask power, it will just feel a little bit better, everything. And this object, this person gets placed on the floor. It doesn't work always perfectly, but you can just, it's better than nothing. So, and it's stable. That is the most important thing. So you have to place a pivot point onto a floor, and then from there on it should be, it should stay on the floor, even if it moves in front or back. It will always try to keep on the floor, try to remain on the floor. Let me just check here a little bit of your comments because I really okay, refresh. Yeah, thank you, then Abenteuerhof. Okay, so let me see, are there any questions? Is it possible to overlay Chroma on cam for camera track like you do with Composer? Maybe convert into a post process. Yeah, it is possible. So what we have here a possibility to use this feature that is called, how it was. Sorry guys, I'm also new to this program. Yeah, I'm new to this program, of course. We have here in denoiser, in webcast test material, we can use this option that is called screen space projection. So practically this will project this plane onto a screen space. In this way, for example, I can just use this scale it up like this, and it will always be in a like you just have to place it in front of a camera, and as the camera moves, you will see right now that if I move a camera here, it will just take a ChromaKey. It will be in a screen space. So this is a feature but on a difference from other tools, like when you're doing something in this way, you can also position it on a z-axis so that you can actually compose things in front or back. For example, if you want, you could put a tracker on your person that is there, and then just assign this plane onto some arbitrary point in the space, and it will always follow that plane, and you will have correct z ordering. So this is a nice trick. So of course it has to be bigger, like plane has to be greater than a screen, than a field of view of a camera. So you can just scale it up to infinity and then use it. Okay, let me just check. I had to change it to index 0 rather than index 1 this morning. Yeah, it really depends. I set it to 1 because usually many PCs have webcam, integrated webcam. So if you have an integrated webcam, then your capturing device, probably your professional device, will be always a second device, that is device 1. Otherwise, if you don't have any webcam or something like that, then you're using 0, of course. But I must admit that Deckard is made more for professional, like it's a professional tool and it's made for professional cameras. So mostly I'm expecting that you're having some kind of capturing device. Let me just check it here, and let's say what we have here more. Okay, sorry, I don't. Let me see. Refresh. So, guys, I'm having here some problems with refreshing. Hello. Let me just check this out. 1, 2. Okay, I'm unable. I don't know why to see all the comments here on my software for showing. Okay, question: how can I eliminate all movement correction from the Deckard plane? I've paired the plane to a Vive tracker on my camera, but when I move it around, there's a lag on the video moving. I don't think that it has. If you have a lag, it's not about. No, wait a second. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about what lag we are speaking. Okay, so for example, Deckard plane has this option that it rotates always towards camera. You can see it right now here. Let me just check it. Yeah, I have to go back into okay, turn off this. So if I have here a camera, and camera has to have a tag, main camera, usually, okay, like you see here, main camera tag. So when I move my camera, it will always rotate towards a plane. You can also disable this thing. It's just about Chroma look at cam. So if I disable this script, when I move this, my Chroma plane will remain always fixed. If I want to avoid any tracking, I just have to go here into image tracking, use image tracking, turn it off. So it's nothing too complex. Otherwise, yeah, so we have also this Chroma drop to floor. Yeah, of course, if you turn off Chroma look at cam and Chroma, no, you don't have to do anything. Everything is, so, like this, Chroma look at cam and tracking, image tracking, turn off. Image tracking is somewhat can be pretty heavy on some older devices, but on new devices it's really because it's accelerated on graphics. It works pretty fast. So let me show you another features that somebody might miss. Right now I had here already the Noiser Beauty. So if I turn off this, yeah, I don't have too much noise because this camera isn't really noisy. But if you have a noisy camera, for example, or you're doing some video over internet and things like that, then you can use different effects. And this is a really powerful tool. It's like having post-processing effects for a ChromaKey plane. I will show you right now this incredible feature. Incredible. It's not incredible, but yeah, I like it really, really much. So I have this thing that is called, for example, Denoiser Beauty. and I can add it here. And this is another material, and it's a profile. It is always treated as a profile. So if you have to have different scenes with different profiles, you have to duplicate those materials and then apply to them any change. So you will see this. Let me just zoom a little bit into it. Okay, so this is we have here few values. How they work, it's really a little bit difficult to explain, but they are served for denoising. So as I don't have here any noise, so it's a little bit difficult to show you. But you will see that it will also remove maybe any wrinkles, but she doesn't have any wrinkles, so yeah, it's a little bit difficult to show you. If you are working, for example, with DaVinci Resolve and things like that, you will know that it should behave more or less how the noiser in DaVinci Resolve behaves. So in this way, you can just define what is the size of this filter, and then it's like the size and then the threshold, and from that point, everything will look much smoother, and then it will be. You can see a difference. I hope that it can be seen on the YouTube, but. For example, this is one of the filters, but when you are working, for example, with those filters, then you want maybe at the end of a whole chain another filter that is called Sharpen. So I will be adding here Sharpen Shader, and you will see here that I have this possibility. Sorry, okay, just to do some sharpening. Let me just check it. Strength. No, in this case, no. I think that. Sorry, guys. I think that it doesn't work correctly here. I have to try it out better on my probably on HDRP, because I didn't check this one with. Yeah, this is something that I have to check for bugs. Okay. We have, for example, other things that we can use here. This is, for example, holographic hologram. So by adding just this hologram, I can just how to say? Yeah, I can just use some. Oh no, wait. Hologram. Sorry. I before I. Yeah, never mind. I can just use different things here and just to make some image effects that are pretty neat and simple to use, simple to implement. Enough simple to implement. Let me just check it for a moment. Just okay. So yeah, we have here a series of features that we can use, and we play with them. Also, then we have, for example, this one that is something like a cartoonish. Okay, I'm not sure why this okay, yes, cartoon. Just let me check this. Okay, sorry guys. Yeah, I have some problems. Okay. These were problems on the scene view. That's why it didn't work correctly. So yeah, this is something like a cartoon. So or even if you want, like you can even, like stack multiple effects one over another. Color quality, sorry, here range. You can see it. I'm just going here into a so we have cartoon, yeah. But actually, this is a pretty nice feature because all those effects are easy to, like to make and to use. You only have to create your primary shader and then use it. Or for example, I can just use, for example, cartoon and then add to it a hologram, and it will also work. So this is a cartoon hologram. So, yeah. Or to do some basic, or to do some basic color corrections, implement your own shaders, your own, particle shaders or something like that. I think that it's a neat feature to have, and only thing that you have to do is always remove. If there are some other shader that remains, then you have to just add some other version. So those are custom filters on a folder of custom filters. For example, here we have a basic color correction. So color correction, like saturation, shadows, like highlights, and setting those things that otherwise would be difficult to achieve, Let me just check. Probably I should go into something like that. And sorry guys, I'm not showing you. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I don't know why. I was showing that we had this color correction, then cartoons, and then we can stack those effects like hologram over the cartoon, or then add material filter color correction onto this, and I don't know, many of different filters. I think that this is a really nice tool. So these almost seem like plugin shaders. Are they based on an amplifier shader that if we wanted to create our own would be simple to do from a template of sorts? Yes, absolutely. They are all those shaders here are based on amplifier shaders, so you can open them and just see how they are made and modify them as you want. So this is a good thing about them, that you can really easily. I have just to check here project. Sorry guys, because this project wasn't set up correctly. Graphics I had to make. I'm always suggesting this if you're working in a virtual production, then to go into graphic quality settings. Where is the quality? Okay, quality anisotropic. Oh no, they are already set. Okay, forced tone. Okay, so to set this to forced tone. So this is I don't know. Are there any? As I promised, I wanted to give some free vouchers today because I think that it's a nice thing to do from time to time. Okay, so let me just check it. I have to create some. Okay, I will be giving right now one voucher for my Deckard render plugin. That is not to be confused with Deckard ChromaKey. So prepare, and the first one that inserts it into a asset store will be winning it. Afterwards, I will be sharing some other of my assets. Of course, no, I will be sharing also, but that will be the last one. I will be sharing Deckard ChromaKey Indie. No, you don't have to. A link of the asset. No, when you take this number, you just insert it into a asset store, and it will give you a name of the asset. But anyway, I will be posting here also my link, of course, because it should be Deckard render. So that you can try look what it does. It also Deckard render also has tight integration with Deckard ChromaKey, so they both work extremely. Oh guys, sorry, but I'm unable to share this. I don't know why. It doesn't let me share a link on the chat. No. Let me just check like this. No. It doesn't let me share. Okay, this next one is for Deckard what was it? For Deckard ChromaKey Indie. Yeah, probably someone already got it. Okay. So let me check. And then I will be sharing another two assets. Today I'm really in a good mood. This one will be VR Panorama Pro 360. Nice, even. I'm happy for you. Okay, and then let me just, for anyone who is interested, I will be doing right now some kind of stupid how to say, pitch on my Deckard render, but Deckard render is really one of the most important, I think, most important assets if you're working on filmmaking with Unity. It will just help you push the maximum output of Unity. So I'm suggesting to everyone that is doing something that isn't live, or even for those persons that are doing things that are, how to say, like really in real time. But as Deckard isn't real time, it's an offline, so it takes something like 4 seconds for rendering one frame. But that one frame is like movie quality frame. So I'm suggesting to everyone to try it out. It is a really cool thing for doing demos and for doing YouTube presentations and things like that. How to use this coupon code? You have to go into Asset Store and insert it there into a section that is there, but I'm not sure how it was named. It was named something like let me just check. Asset Store, how it was named. So for the next one, redeem voucher. When you go into your account on Asset Store, and you will see there redeem voucher field. You just have to go into that one. I'm sorry, I can't show you because it has some. Okay, so nobody took VR Panorama Pro renderer. I'm suggesting you to hurry up. Rod, do you mean? Hi, Rod. Would like to see the new feature for physical celluloid simulation. Yeah. For that one, I should probably open one of my different projects here. No, I can even show you here probably. But yeah, it's not really incredible. Okay, let me just close down this project, and then I will be showing you celluloid film. And also for last voucher that I will be sharing today is for my seascape. Okay, this is the last voucher. This is a city building system. Let me just check here. Hub, Unity Hub. I just have to it will take some. It takes some time to. Okay, let me just download this. I'm just opening a project so that you can see it, but of course it takes some time. In the meantime, do you have any questions? Somebody has some questions? Okay, yeah. So I think that we are here. Okay, so we have here our scene, and let me just check out this camera. Okay. Yes, so this is a new feature in Deckard. So here down you can see how Unity renders. Okay, this is a Unity rendering. This is a film simulation. And practically we are it just helps into really going into some things that are pretty complex on a computer side. So this is, for example, neutral. Wait a second, just sorry. Okay. This is a normal rendering, like with Deckard, how it would do. This is with Unity, this one down. This is with Deckard. And then we can just upload, for example, this profile. That is a physical profile of how celluloid film behaves. So if I go into this profile and I can change here most of the properties of a real film. Let me just slow down this render, fasten up this rendering. For example, this is like film scattering. So this is how much. Yeah, it is pretty difficult to explain everything here, what is actually going on, but it is. This is, for example, halation size. So you'll see that it adds some subtle effects, like on a grain, by simulating how actually a film behaves. So yeah, this is some extreme settings, but those are all the settings that are practically available on a real film medium. So I just tried to make them available also in a digital form. They are really great for some nice effects, like, for example, I can just change with few parameters how the noise responds, how the grain is behaving, and by setting those parameters I can just change the look of an image. And this, while it can be also subtle thing, but it also can be a pretty heavy thing. And let me just check here. Sorry guys, I have just to check what are you saying. Yeah, okay. What are long-term plans for indie version? Who is your target market? Indie target market for indie version is indie guys, like everybody who wants to try it out and to work on some new things. While enterprise is for a broadcast. I totally recommend including support for Stereolabs camera. I've been using it for the last year. It's allowed me to do video production for $350 without having to buy. I don't know what is a Stereolabs camera. I will have to check it. I would like to thank you for the effort, being a fan of your assets for some time. We'll give it a good use. Thank you, even. Want to try it out on my forces? Solver look is less exact, more artifacty. No, this is an exact, how to say, simulation of a celluloid. Exact how it can be, how much it can be exactly. It's a really difficult question, but yeah, it approaches really physical behavior of a film. Thank you. Of course, you are, when you're using, for example, some kind of those things, for example, you will see this, I'll show, I will probably have to just check a few things on this rendering. So right now it has some depth, some shallow depth of field. Let's make it become clear, okay? So here you will see a little bit what is the difference. You can see, for example, Unity or every other software. Let me just check here. Okay, let me just see the same. You can see how, for example, already this is the Unity output, blow up of Unity output in the same resolution. You'll see this the aliasing issue. It is a normal thing. You'll see that already. Let me just check. No, I will have to turn off. Sorry, I have to turn off any. Okay, you'll see that this doesn't have any aliasing issues. So it's like it should look a little. It looks a little bit softer, but it doesn't have any aliasing issues. You will see, for example, when you go with heavy film, and this is, for example, film scattering, what is going on? That film, all the three layers of a film for each color, red, RGB, are practically at, let's say, at different distances. It's like having one layer, then having a film, another layer transparent between this layer and then another layer, and then so we are having some subsurface scattering inside a film. So whole idea here is just to create this subsurface scattering, and you can see it right now here. So you can see this like. This is a normal, and this is subsurface scattering. Then we have a halation. Halation is an effect that happens mostly on the red colors on the film. Halation practically is another type of scattering that light that bounces from a film and comes back inside into a film. And so, for example, I can just change those settings and play with everything there. And we also have like grain and things like that. So it actually gives some organic things to an image. Of course, the main problem with the grain is that it gets pretty. It isn't so easy to compress. So for some reasons, it's like better to add some grain than remove it in post. In that way, you will have like something that looks more like a film transferred onto Netflix or any other platform streaming. So this is main idea is to. Yeah, here I'm trying to work a little bit on. You can see how it really can give that extreme quality of the image. So let me check just another. Well, yes. Artifacy is the wrong word. Unity output is too exact and digital. Well, nothing in CG is exact, so it's like, probably, but that, like even physics aren't exact. That's why we get noise from the sensors. That's why we get grain. That's why we get many of the effects that are really give some kind of a character to an image. So, and we are used to those effects. Today we are trying a lot to go up into resolution, but from my experience, it really it isn't about resolution. It is about a kind of a definition. At least if you're not reading a text or something like that. But if we are speaking about movie making and things like that, most of the films, old films done on a celluloid tape doesn't have a resolution that even approaches HD. So for this reason, many of the movies that are right now also in cinema theaters are mostly presented in 2K, that is near to HD. So they're going up. There is no too much sense in having too much detail. Usually, then affects our perception of those movies. Like having too bigger frame rates, it also affects our perception of those movies. The only thing that sorry, I have to check this. The only thing that is a problem with Unity is global illumination. Even with Deckard, it's difficult to manage, setup, tweak the soft light area size to simulate. Well, yeah, no. You know, like with ray tracing right now in Unity, you can go pretty heavy on a area lights, from my experience, from what I'm. Of course, yeah, you will need ray trace. At this moment, the big problem is that we don't have any graphics cards, and I don't know how this gonna finish. This really isn't. It's not a perfect moment with all the scalpers that are bringing up all the prices of graphics cards, and it looks like a completely mad world. So I think that ray tracing will have to wait a little bit more. Okay, guys, I wanted to show you also, because nothing. I will have one really nice guest one of the next weeks, and he will share some his workflows with us, and we'll be speaking a little bit about Unity and creativity. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe if you want, of course. I hope that you had some good time, and that I managed to show you something about these things. And have a nice weekend, and thank you for coming. If you have just some other question, I'm just here for a few moments still, and let me just check here. Okay. Hi, Rod. Nice to meet you here. Thank you too. Okay, let me just check here. Currently, Deckard is the only offline renderer that works with my AMD card. Thankfully, I can use it. Oh, this is great to know, because I don't own any AMD cards, and I didn't have any possibility to test it. But yeah, actually, there shouldn't be any reason why it shouldn't work. Thank you too, Leon. Thank you, Ivan, and have a great time on trying out assets that you got. Okay, guys, see you maybe next week. Bye. It was nice to meet you.